I'm joined by Matt, and we are at Nova Performance, and we are today going to do a rundown of the
Natural Worlds, Natural Strongman
Natural
World
Strongman
Championships.
World Championships, which just happened at the weekend up in Edinburgh in Scotland.
Yep.
First of all, thank you, because it was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks to Steve, Mark, Luke, like literally everybody involved from GBA, like everyone involved with the comp, like that was an awesome comp to be part of, massive weekend.
It ran really smoothly.
Yeah.
We were really, really impressed. We had a great time, so thank you very, very much.
Yeah, by far the most efficient, biggest comp I've been a part of.
And
so.
it was massive, and like the whole place, the venue especially,
it
was
huge,
unbelievable.
What was it, the Orium
Stadium, which is like at Heriot-Watt University, which is like the kind of the Scottish Performance Centre for sport, really, I'd say, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the top.
When we were there on Saturday morning, the Scottish women's football team were in the gym doing their S&C session.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
Fangirling.
Anyway, we are going to do a review of Matt's weekend, a comp rundown, event by event of how it went for him.
Yep.
Talking about the good bits and the bad bits.
Yeah, just covering pretty much everything there is to cover in the under 80 class.
So, event number 1 was axle squats for reps with the big wheels, 60 seconds, down to a depth of
63, 64 centimetres?
Something like that.
Yep.
So you had to basically get to a depth, come back up, ref would go, yep, and then you could take your next rep. So, first of all, Matt, you came.
I came 4th overall on that one. So squat for me is notoriously bad. It was the one event on there when they released him where I was like, oh, I might have a bit of trouble with this one. Going into...
It was really heavy as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, going into that comp, my biggest squat ever was like 180, and then they put it as 185 for reps. So I thought this could be interesting. So basically the whole way through prep, I've just been thinking like, don't no rep it, don't no rep it, don't no rep it. We can get one rep, we can get one rep. On the day, I actually managed to get 3 reps. I actually feel like I could have got more. The axle felt, I've been training with the fat axle. It wasn't a fat axle on the day, I don't think. It had the knurling, but
it wasn't as fat as our fat axle.
No, and I just, like, if you watch my video back, I posted it up yesterday, it was, every time I came up out the whole of it, it like popped into a high bar position, so I'd go low bar, coming down, and then on the way up, it just rolled up into like a high bar, whether it was something I was doing or whether it was the bar or what, but it just really unbalanced me, but still managed to get 3 reps, which was like massive for me. I think I got a single in training the week before.
Yeah.
Was quite happy with that, so to get 3 on the day was very good. So yeah, and actually managed to equal with Kyle, so...
Yeah.
Which is a big story from the day, pretty much.
So the big shout out for this event has to go to Liam, because Liam was absolutely amazing at these squats.
Yeah, he
actually did 14 reps.
Well, yeah, he did 14 reps and then shot out from underneath the squat rack and called me out from across the arena saying, "What are you going to do now, Medley?" So
that was the best bit about it. It wasn't the 14 reps; it was calling Matt out afterwards.
Yeah, the whole arena went silent as he did it. Like, I think me and Carl both laughed at each other, just like, "Yeah, we're not going to do anything near that, mate."
So I think for this event, people either found this okay and bashed out a couple of reps, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or it was pretty challenging, and it was
there wasn't
like
too many like in the middle.
There wasn't really kind of mid reps. It was either you repped it or you didn't.
Yeah, I think that kind of explains squat in strongman. You either do it or you don't.
Either a squatter,
Yeah, so
squatter or you aren't.
Yeah.
So event number 2 was yoke. So it's a 40-meter yoke, so 20 meters there, 20 meters back. You were carrying
300 kilos.
300 kilos, and this is for time. So this has got to be done as quick as possible. All right. So you went up against...
I was up against Doug Bennett.
Doug Bennett.
Yeah, me and Doug went out. For me, yoke is like a good event. Like in prep, this has been moving really, really quick. I've been saying to you, I wanted like 20, 25 seconds. I think on the day I was like 30 point, what we got down here?
30.39 plus 1.
Yeah, oh yeah, so, so 31 point whatever, but...
I did it in 25.
For me, I think, I don't know what it was a bit uneven or whatever it was, like circumstances on the day, like I dropped it on the way back, which I've never usually do with the yoke.
You're normally clear there and back, aren't you?
And then also like a bit of controversy, I also got penalised a second for sliding my yoke over the line, which again I've just posted the video up on my Instagram today. I'll let you be the judge of that.
We would be really interested to have your feedback.
Hannah would be really
I'd be really interested to have the feedback to see whether it's a slide, because we've done some comparisons from the from the UKS qualifiers, haven't we?
No, so that one I showed you, that video I showed you was me sliding the yoke at the Strength Games qualifiers at Chaos, and I slid it about 3 metres and didn't get penalised. But we're not sore about that at all. Don't worry about it. But yeah, give us your answers on a postcard. What do you think? Was it a slide? Was it penalisable? But at the end of the day...
Anyway, so still with a 1 second penalty, you finished in 31.39 seconds and were only slightly beaten by Kyle, who finished in 30.81 seconds.
0.5 seconds off with a 1 second penalty. So that was a valuable point that I could have done with at the end of it. But yeah, we'll explain that at the end.
Right then, so event number 3 was the overhead medley. So the overhead medley started with an axle bar first of all.
Yep, axle into 2 hex dumbbells into an Olympic barbell, followed by a log for reps at the end.
Yeah, and effectively it was getting progressively heavier. So your axle bar started at...
Axle was 95, then the hex dumbbells were 37.5, and then the barbell was 100 kilos, followed by a 105 log. Again, overheads for me, I'm very confident on them.
Yeah.
Even I've got a bit of a bad shoulder at the moment, which has been giving me a lot of problems. I was still very confident about doing well on this. We spoke with Josh beforehand about, even though I can blast through the first 3, of just pacing through those 3 and treating it as a log for reps, almost like a separate event on the end.
So it's important to note that for this event you were being scored on how many total reps you got, rather than a time. There was no time split. It was whether you got 3 reps or whether you got 6 reps. It was going to be all about how many reps you got, not about how quickly you did those reps in.
Yes, there's no point in really blowing yourself out before you get to that log at the end. I managed 3 reps on the log, so I think that counted to like 6 reps total, which again was, I think, good for joint second.
It was good for joint
Kyle
seconds.
again blew it out the park with that one. Like, just didn't stop his pace. Like,
he did, but he only scored 1 extra rep than you.
Yeah.
So he got 4 on the log rather than you getting 3.
Yeah.
And you were matched by, is it Andre?
Andre, yes, yeah.
Who also got 3 reps. And actually, we should say the rest of the field didn't get any reps on the log.
Yeah, so it's just us 3 that really sort of took the log and took it for a bit of a spin, really. So. But yeah, I was happy with that one. It was a good event. Again, it was keeping within touch with Kyle, which was a big focus point for the day.
Yeah, so that was joint second you finished in for that one, which was great.
Yeah, happy days.
So, event number 4, and this is to close out our first day, the Saturday, the Sandbag Hell Medley.
Anybody that was at that comp at the weekend knows what I'm feeling right now. That was disgusting, that event, and I think me and Kyle took it for an absolute ride, didn't we? That was
it was basically sandbag, 50-meter carry, loaded over yoke. Second sandbag, slightly heavier, 50-meter carry, loaded over yoke. Run back, Husafel sandbag, carry for distance until your time ran out. And your time cap, our time cap, was it 75? No, it was 90 seconds.
90 seconds, so
90
a minute
seconds
and a half.
we had.
Yeah, so we had a 100 kilo bag, a 110 kilo bag, and a 120 kilo Husafel. Again, I've never had any problems with any sandbags. Sandbagged on. Debatable after this one. Carl's trying to nick a lot of titles off me here. But so yeah, the plan was on this, because I was going head to head with Kyle. Me and Josh have spoken about it, about keeping Kyle just that little bit ahead of me. So like, even at the end of there, I've got him in sight and he sort of pushes through that last 5-10 seconds. But Kyle sort of scuppered that, because straight off the mark he took off a little bit too quick and dropped his sandbag.
He dropped his sandbag
So
about halfway through the first run.
Straight away that plan
You
went in
were
the bin.
ahead.
So I actually like loaded that first sandbag, turned around and saw Josh and was like what do we do? Let's just go for it. So ran back, got the 110, again no issues with that. Came back, grabbed the 120 Husafel, which actually Carl had caught up with me by then. He took off first with the Husafel, which again I was a little bit happier about, but then I think after the second length he sort of fell back a little bit, and then it was just a battle of like, how far can we go?
How far you could go.
I dropped it I think with about 7 seconds left, and I turned to Mark and said, how long? And I heard him go 7, 6. I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to pick this thing up again.
Yeah.
So I got it, I think I screamed out, and moved it about 5 centimetres, and then I just saw Kyle like flop just in front of me. That was brutal, but yeah, anybody watching that, I think they were saying, you know, there was a lot of people saying it was a ridiculous battle. It was nuts to watch.
So that was probably the best event for me to watch of the day, I think. So Matt covered a total distance with the Husafel sandbag of 55.15 centimetres.
So that was after the 15 metres with the other bags as well. Yeah.
And Kyle did 55 and a half. There literally was 35 centimetres in it, and that was it. It was so close.
It was a 12-inch ruler. A little school ruler in front of us, but yeah.
So anyway, that was then the end of day one.
It was, yeah. So mindset at the end of day one, I think points-wise, Kyle was a little bit ahead with that one, with a couple of event wins that day.
Do you know what? I'm not too sure whether you went...
I'm pretty sure I posted on my Instagram, he was about 5 points clear, I think, at the top.
Okay.
And then I was a couple of points ahead of Liam, and then I wasn't, like, no offence to the others, but I wasn't paying too much attention.
Yeah, because then there was a bit of a gap,
what was going on. So it was going into day 2 thinking about, right, I'm going to really have to like chase Kyle hard, like out of the gates. I guess that kind of leads us straight into like event 5.
Yeah, so event 5 was the deadlift ladder. So deadlifts are always Matt's favourite event.
Notoriously awful. Pack.
So the deadlift ladder, progressively heavier. We went 230, 250, 270, 290.
290, yeah.
Yeah. And now this was on a split time, so as soon as you made a successful lift, split timer went, so you'd know, obviously, if 2 athletes completed the same amount of lifts, that whoever got there quickest would be the person who went ahead. So you needed to be pretty quick. Yeah. So, you did.
I actually won a deadlift event at a World Championships. Would you believe
won the
it?
deadlift event. He's shit at deadlifts.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Best natty deadlifter on the planet. Proven. Is Liam writing? So yeah, I managed to get the first 2 bars. I think probably a fraction quicker than Liam. I think got the second bar.
Yeah, you did bar 2 in 14.7 seconds, and Liam was just behind in 15.34. So yeah, it was pretty close.
Very, very close. Just maybe a bit quicker.
And Liam's a really good deadlifter. I can remember Liam at the UK finals in Ireland, and he did a lot of reps.
He won the deadlift for reps. I think he's, well, obviously going by the squat as well, he's very good for reps statically.
Yeah.
Like, it looks very good. I think I was just a little bit quicker getting in, maybe top end might be a little bit stronger maybe, I don't know, but left myself a lot of time. I wasn't going to go for the 270, but I wasn't sure how quick I'd been on that 250. I felt like I was slower than him. So I thought, right, well, gave myself a lot of time, got a bit of hype going, we went for the 270.
You went for the 270 and you got it close.
Yeah, the most I've ever really like officially pulled from the floor is 255. So yeah, to get that like to my knees was real good. I think it's positive signs from deadlifts to come, but fortunately, yeah, I managed to get a big gap between me and Kyle on this one. I don't know what happened with Kyle, but he only managed to get the first bar, and it took him a while to get it done.
So I have an interesting thought on this. I don't know if it's interesting, but I know that Kyle's done a lot of deadlift events recently where he's been lifting a lot in a suit. Yep. So they've been allowed, haven't they?
Yeah, so I spoke to Kyle about this afterwards. I said, what's going on? Because I watched you at Europe's and you terrified me by finishing the ladder up to 280 in the suits. And he was saying that he really struggles off the floor. So obviously where the deadlift suit's going to help you the most is that first pull off the floor. Okay. And then he's solid, sort of getting it past his knees and going through, which is kind of like the opposite to me. Yeah. So he probably gets a lot more from that suit, helping him in where he's poor into his strong range. Whereas like myself, I don't get a massive amount off of the suit because I'm stronger off the floor and weaker through the lockout. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting perspective on it. But yeah, he really, really struggled. I watched him in the warm-ups and I thought, is he just sandbagging us? Is he like having us on here? Because he struggled with like 200 in the warm-ups, and I thought, ooh. But yeah, so fortunately for me, not so much for him, but he dropped down to 6th, I think, on that deadlift event, maybe 7th.
He did, he was 6th, yeah.
Yeah, and then me winning it, I actually managed to
claw back the points
and actually gain a 1.5 lead off that first event. So like my mindset sort of changed straight away from the morning of being like, oh, this is going to be a slog chasing Kyle all day.
To know that you were right up there.
To now I'm in the driving seat going into arguably some of my better events. Throwing bags and the rest to come, yeah.
So event number 6, so the second event on Sunday was the throw bag medley, and that was a 14, 16, 18 and 20 kilo bag over 4.1 metres high. Yep. So you and Liam went last.
So we went head to head on that because we
Had
first
finished,
and second
yeah.
on the deadlift.
If you haven't watched this, I'm going to say this, it was beautiful to watch because for the first 3 throws...
Liam is very beautiful, to be fair.
He was this side of that as well, where I was watching.
Them Irish boys, eh? Them Irish boys.
They were in perfect synchronicity. So you could literally see them grab and they would both throw, extend at the same time. It was really good to watch.
Yeah,
It looked really good. And then Liam, maybe slightly taller than Matt.
Boy.
Matt is very tall.
Behave.
Just got that little extra reach for that last bag.
I think that is testament to, like, I've got one throwing bag to train with. I know Liam has said he'd had a chance to put some runs together, and just that transition time clearly made a difference, because it was what was the difference?
So Liam finished in 13.63 seconds and you finished in 14.38 seconds, so less than a second in it.
Yeah, so that's the transitions, really. But yeah, like the main focus at this point with the 3 events left was just what is Kyle doing? What is Kyle doing? Because he's a point and a half off of me. He's the only one that can really scupper my day up a little bit. So it was.
And actually, in that event as well, Kyle did come 3rd.
Yeah, so I had the advantage of watching him go first, and sort of knowing what times we had to get. But yeah, coming second on that again, just put another point ahead of Kyle, which again I think so going into the sandbag to shoulder is 2.5 points. Yeah. Clear.
And Sandbag to shoulder is your
Very
event.
happy,
So that was the 7th event of the day.
Yeah, it's a very good event for me. Again, Liam come out of nowhere with this one. Like nearly got that last bag. So we had a 110, 120, 130 and a 140 sandbag, boom, 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 ladder style.
It says 100, 110, 120, 130. Anyway, doesn't matter.
On the website, that's what it says. But yeah, if that's what it was, then that was a really poor showing for me. But anyway, yeah, so again, watched Kyle go out ahead. Knew I needed a really quick first 3 bags. Yeah. And again, went out there to do it. Literally, the difference on that event there again was I think I maybe had to readjust my second bag, and again, just maybe a fraction longer on the chest with the bag before popping it up on that last one, because again, he was only, what, a second, maybe 2
He was
quicker?
just over a second quicker than you, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a mad event, but yeah, I didn't quite, again, that was another one kind of like the deadlift ladder. I didn't know if I'd been quick enough to beat Kyle on that one.
Yeah.
So went for the 140. 130, 140, I'm pretty sure it was 140. Yeah, the top bag,
let's just call it the last bag.
It's a big bag. Got it up to my chest and just felt dizzy and just went, I thought, you know, we've got one more event. Let's see what's going on here. So yeah, I think I was second on that, was I?
You were second.
Your Liam come first
yeah,
on that
Liam
one?
did come first.
Super quick on those.
Kyle
yeah.
was in.
Those Irish boys were a problem, weren't they?
Are in
all
3rd.
Day. I was in an Irish sandwich all weekend. Yeah. So yeah, last event.
Then it came on to the last event. So in Strongman with the last event, basically you change the order rather than. The order you go in from every event tends to be how you finished the event before, but going into the last event, you'll go on your kind of your final placing. So you knew going into this, you were basically, first of all, you were in the lead.
Yeah, so for me going into the last event, I was 1.5 points in the lead. Going into the last event in Ireland for the UK finals, I was 0.5 point in front. Kyle, thank you. Yeah, so I was 1.5 points ahead. Basically, mindset was like me, Josh, like everybody in the team, we were all just like, right, you need to be within one position of Kyle. That was it. You need to be within one position of Kyle. He can't gain 1.5 points ahead of you if you're 1 point place behind him. So if he's first, you need to be second. Second, you need to be third. Yeah. So obviously going out last, we got to watch everything was going on. Yeah.
Knew how many that you needed?
We thought we did. Matey went out, he did 7 reps, that was the current event leader. So for me, I kind of knew Kyle was going to get a lot of reps on there, so it was like, right, minimum we need to get is 7 reps. We need to hit 7, that's job done. He can't get 2 places ahead of us if we're 7th. Timed 7 reps perfectly. I don't think I could have done an 8th, to be brutally honest. Maybe. I'm in an iron, but yeah, it's got the 7 reps. Kyle absolutely blew it away with 9 reps.
He did.
Again, those 2 reps didn't make a huge difference in what had happened anyway. If he'd have done 8, it wouldn't have made any change to what had happened as well. So what happened is basically, we did the 7 reps. I turned to Adam, Josh, my coach, the team. We were like, have I done it? That's my 7 reps. I've done 7 reps. I've done it. We've done it. We're world championships. We celebrated. Josh celebrated. Adam celebrated. It was all, let's go. I turned around and who was the commentator? I can't remember now, the MC. can't remember his name, but he was the bearer.
I want to say Mike, but I don't know if that's
He
right.
was the bearer of bad news. So I turned to him and I said, "I've done it yet." And he said, "I'm not so sure. You've joint second."
So because
with
it was
7 reps,
joint
so you
second, it
split a
affected
point.
the points. So you split,
So
split the
within a
points.
minute, I'd won worlds to no, you've just fucked it up. We never.
So
we
it
never,
meant
we never,
basically that you and Kyle finished on joint points.
we never
at the
counted
end.
for.
We never
joint
accounted
second.
for the fact that there may be a
joint
place.
and we split a point.
To be honest, we kind of wrote, this is going to sound really awful, but we kind of wrote off the rest of the field to begin with, didn't we?
Yeah.
So actually going into it, we were like, that's it.
That's it.
Boom.
We need 7
Job's
reps. Let's
done.
go. So yeah, I was gutted. Went and laid in the corner for a couple of minutes.
Had a little cry.
Hannah came and gave me a cuddle. Said,
I had
"Look,
a
mate,
cry
it's
as
not
well.
all so bad. We all had a little bit of an emotional minute."
Because
and then,
basically, you only lost the world championship, horrible to say, on countback.
yeah, so me and Carl were joint first at the end of it with 45 points
45 points each. And Matt
and yeah,
finished second
countback.
because of countback.
Countback. So Carl Carl won more events through the weekend and he won the last event. So either way, they would have done a countback. Like Carl would have got it. So yeah, another time, another UKNS title lost out to Kyle on the last event.
But you came second.
But yes,
And you are
we
the
did come
second
second.
strongest natural under 80 athlete in the world.
Let's go, baby. Joint first, maybe.
We're going
Yoke
to say
slide,
though,
maybe.
credit to Kyle. Kyle was phenomenal all weekend, really, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Let's just him and Liam.
Yeah,
Spot on.
as much
Put
as-
up a really good fight. It was a really good show between those
As
three.
devastating as it is to lose out that way, like it's much better to have someone like Carl and Liam there to push you like on every single event, rather than it just sort of stepping away a little bit with
Yeah.
it. And you know it is brutal, but Carl's a good friend of mine. Like I'm catching up with him tomorrow. We're doing another podcast
And
tomorrow
he's a
with him.
fantastic athlete, isn't
He's
he?
an amazing athlete. He's 22. Like me and Liam just joke about that we're two old men getting beaten up by a little 22-year-old every comp that we do. But yeah, I mean, Carl's had a phenomenal year. He won the UKNS title, like the UK's. He's won the world's, third at OSG Europe's.
He did really
No
well.
doubt he's going to go on to do OSG Worlds in December and absolutely smash it as well. So yeah, but yeah, as far as the other competitors on the day as well,
Well done,
like
Kyle. Well done.
everybody
Well done,
on the day.
Liam. Third place. Well
Like,
done.
everybody
And the
on
rest
the
of the
day.
guys as well.
Yeah, like
Awesome.
everybody
It
on the day was
brilliant.
absolutely awesome. Like they were all really like top athletes, top competitors, like top people really as well. Like I think Steve McDonald lent me like his chalks throughout the weekend. I say his salts for the weekend. I say he lent them. I probably stole them pretty much. but
Matt's probably still got them.
I was walking around in a shop with my headphones on most weekend. But yeah, I would, like big thanks to Josh as well for all his help. Like on the day, like Josh Lancaster, my coach, like he was like.
He was there, wasn't
he?
he?
Was like the guiding light in a storm, like in that day, like kept me on track, kept me focused, kept me like
Kept it going.
knowing what I
Kept you
needed
to
to
the
do
game
and
plan.
stuff. Yeah, kept me on plan. So yeah, massive thanks to you, Josh. Thank you very much. And yeah, second in the world.
So there's one question we have to ask. Are you going to defend your title next year?
That's a big question, and there's many questions within that question that
So,
are still unanswered.
TBC. You leave it as to be
Depending on
confirmed?
qualifying routes, like right now, like I was joking, I sat on my sofa last night and was like, oh yeah, I can have a bit of time off from comps, and then Ash started messaging me about the English qualifier.
Yeah, so we
and
know the
then
English qualifier is the beginning of Feb.
We've got Arnold's in February
We've got
as well,
Arnold's at
and
the
then
beginning
now
of March.
England's untested is now in March as well.
Ooh, okay.
So it's all looking very quick. I'm going to have to
And then
speak
the
to the guys.
UK's will be in June if it goes like the UKNS.
So-
UK finals be in June, and then it'll be Worlds again in September.
As much as I do really want to be a part of that massive comp again, because no doubt it's going to be even bigger, even better next year. Like if
You've
you
gotta
are a
work
natty
out.
athlete, like anywhere on the world, you need to
It
get
is
involved
the best pathway to get down.
with the world, like the World Natural Federation. It is absolutely mad what Steve and the guys are doing. But again, it's going to depend on what the qualifying route is. Like if it's all in like March alone, I've got two of the biggest
big
comps of the
comps.
year. Like so,
Well, 3 comps really. So if you've got England qualifies for natural strong, you've got the
is that March as well?
no, if that's
February,
February,
March.
that's February. So you've got February, then we've got end of February, and then you'll have March. Yes, you'll have 3 big comps in 2 months and 8
So
weeks.
we'll see what's going on with the qualifying routes and stuff like that, and I will give a definitive answer in the near coming future.
Awesome. Right, we're
Thank-
done. Well
Thanks a lot,
done.
guys. Peace out. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.